Greenville, South Carolina, where I was living with my family. Um, okay, so I was living in Greenville, South Carolina with my family, and the kids were starting to get to a you know college age. We're getting close. They're starting high school once in last year of middle school, and then I have another kid that's about to graduate from high school. So I have five kids. Four are getting ready to go to college. At one point, they're all going to be in college. All four of them. So I didn't want to put my kids in a position where they would have to take out loans to pay for college. So I was trying to find a way on how I could finance the whole thing, but the cost of which was actually pretty daunting. Um, Now, it would actually make sense for us because our base, actually, as far as our families, they're all based in Southern California, and it would actually make sense for my kids to actually just go to Southern California. But I didn't know how I was going to finance all that because just the cost, the out-of-state cost of their tuitions would cost upwards of $700,000. That's including room and board, and that's not even including books. So, um, because the eldest was going to be a music major, the second was going to be a political science history major, the third one's going to be an architecture major, and that's 5 years, and then the fourth kid's going to be a mechanical engineer. Okay, so the way I worked it out was um, I started looking around the company to see, if I could actually go back to California because at this time I was working for Fluor Corporation, and we were doing contracts all over the country. Now, I knew that Fluor actually started out in California, and we still maintained an office in California. So I started looking. I couldn't find anything. And then right when I was about to give up, I actually bought a house in Greenville, South Carolina at that time. It ended up that just a few months, maybe 5 or 6 months after I bought a house, I had the opportunity to go to California and build a power plant in California for Fluor. So I was told, okay, I did the interview process in March, and the week after the interviews, I ended up getting the job. They told me that in 2 weeks I have to be in California. So I left April 4th, ended up in California April 8th. I drove, and that's how I ended up in California. Now, that still doesn't explain how I saved those $700,000. And let me explain. I was in the Navy for 7 years, and while I was in the Navy, I was actually recruited out of Pasadena, California, and so I am a California veteran. And then my all of my kids, except for the youngest is 5 years old. So the four kids that I'm worried about going to college were all born in California. So I had to move to California so that if they graduate from high school in California, they would all be eligible for this thing called the California Veteran Tuition Waiver Program. So it was really a blessing that I didn't, it kind of just came out of nowhere that I was able to get a project in California, build this power plant over here. It's a large solar plant, 170 megawatt solar plant, and not just build it, but I became the plant manager for it eventually after the commercial process was done. Okay, so it was going to be $12,000 per year for the two kids going to Cal State, and those were going to be 4-year programs, and $43,000 per year for the two kids going to UC or University of California programs, and one is a 4-year program, one is a 5-year program in architecture. So including the room and board, which is roughly about 12,500, 12,800 a year. It would come out to, after everything is said and done, it would be 690 plus $1,000 of when they all graduate from college. So, um, me moving back to California, although the cost of living is higher here, it still doesn't negate the amount of savings that I have if I had stayed in South Carolina and had the kids come over here to California to study. Um, if they had come over here to study, the room and board and the tuition would, would be around, yeah, would be 690 some odd $1,000, and not counting the books and all that good stuff. Let's add another, you know, 20,000 to that, so it'll be over 700, about $700,000 for after everything's said and done. So, it was really a good thing. It just came out of the blue. I'm glad that I was a California veteran. I was recruited out of California. I stayed in California after my time in the Navy. And although our taxes here are insane, pretty much in California, I'm still coming out ahead because I have so many kids, uh, and I'm saving all that money from college tuition. So I guess what's important here, the message I want to give to all of the veterans that are able to avail of the California state um, uh, veteran tuition waiver uh, is right when you're about to get out of the military, make sure that you have some kind, you have everything that's wrong with you documented. Okay, even at 0% compensable, as long as there is some kind of disability that they can they can assign to you at the VA, you get a letter that, yeah, you are disabled through the U.S. military. Although it's 0% compensable, you can still use that to avail of the California State college tuition waiver program. Okay, so make sure before you get out, you do that. Now, even if you're already out, I did it after I got out of the military. After I got out, I went to the VA, and right now I'm at 20% disability. One is for my ankle that was documented when I was in boot camp, that I messed up, and for tinnitus, I was in the engineering department on two Navy ships, and well, we dealt with loud machinery noises, turbines, and pumps that are really loud equipment in machinery rooms. So with that, I developed tinnitus when I was in the military. So now that is about 10% that I got, and I got another 10% for my ankle. So aside from getting the disability money for compensation, that's very minimal compared to the tuition waiver that you can get from from the California State Veterans Office. So please, please, please make sure you got all of your medical records together before you get out. And even if you're already out, you can still work with the VA, work with your veteran service organization, and work towards getting anything wrong with you fixed, or at least looked at, to make sure that you're getting the benefits that you deserve after you get out of the military. If not for you, for your family.